Yeah, let's kick off with the 3 Series. Joe, have you had a look at it?
Yes, and my immediate thoughts are Jaguar XE.
Really?
It's not.
Yes.
At the rear.
I think it's...
Yeah, the rear
Yeah.
doesn't look very BMW-y because it doesn't. It has flat tail lights. It doesn't have like the kind of staggered ones.
If you get rid of the graphics and just have the shape of the tail light, it's just a square. Or a cuboid, which is weird because BMW are normally quite snazzy with their light shapes.
Yeah. Well, the 3 Series is the start of their new design language. It's called something really stupid. It's like...
Is it the start?
It's like form over function or feng shui or something. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, God.
It's called something really, marketing people sat around the table and had 10 meetings and thought, that will do. And it actually doesn't mean anything at all.
The rear is very XE. The first thing that I thought when I saw it was the front lights look very Peugeot. Some of the new Peugeot.
Yeah, actually.
With the way
See where you're coming from.
In, down, and then up, and then down again, where obviously the two angel eyes.
See, when I saw camouflage shots of the 3 Series, I was kind of concerned. I thought they had done what the Octavia had done and sort of split lights into two.
Yeah.
I thought, please don't do that, and they haven't. They've just put a nice dip in it, which I think works well.
Yeah.
I think overall, it's quite handsome, if a bit anonymous.
I don't think it's the improvement over the previous generation that the new 5 Series was over the old 5 Series, over the F.
No,
F10.
but I think the previous 3 Series was a very good-looking car anyway.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's a bit like... No, it's not actually. I was going to say it's a bit like E90 after E46.
No, the E90 was horrid when that came out.
Yeah, it was. It got better. The facelift was much
nicer. It did. But that was... Would you remember when that first came out? It just didn't look like anything.
It wasn't good.
No.
This new one's a mixture of anonymous and slightly confusing, but all right at the same time.
Yeah, I think it looks quite good. I mean, there are people on the internet who have seen it and decided it is literally Satan incarnate.
Oh, yeah. But people feel very strongly about BMWs, don't they?
Yeah, it's because it's the whole BMW have lost their way because and they've apparently lost their way for every new car for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't have a manual handbrake, which apparently is, the car might as well just not exist.
Oh, yeah, just... send it.
I mean, how in 30 years is someone going to be able to drift it around a roundabout with no handbrake?
In the way you would power side a car, a real drive car.
Yes, but it's not the tried and tested BMW E36 method.
But it does have an LSD, so
they won't be in the 3
Is
Series.
it a mechanical or is it a electronic?
I think it's an E-diff, but it has an LSD.
They'll be in 2 Series anyway. They'll be in 135i's and 130i's.
True. Again, they don't have diffs, but
the lowest common denominator is no longer the 3 Series.
Yeah.
They'll be in 2 Series active tourers.
Well, their kids in the back.
Yeah. Fucking the
being
twins
sick
mashed against the
every
rear
way.
window, just vomiting against the window. Anyway, 3 Series.
I have an interesting fact about the 3 Series. It is bigger than the E39.
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than the previous Gen 3 Series, but it's also lighter.
It's lighter, which is why I don't think it being bigger is really a massive deal.
I thought the E90 3 Series was bigger than the E39.
No, well, maybe, but I just saw that the new one. I think it's the G20, which presumably means that it's going to get 19 of its mates around a table and talk about the environment at some point.
The F, wow, bad. Really bad. The previous one and this one don't look that much bigger than the E90 to me, but the E90 is an absolute fucking leviathan next to the E46. So it doesn't feel that huge to me.
It's quite well proportioned, so I don't really think it's an issue. But obviously, people on the internet will tell you that it is just the worst car.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Joe, you could take solace in the fact that there will be 6-cylinder models, 6-cylinder diesel.
Are you sure?
Nice big 6-pot diesel. Yeah.
What about the petrols? Are they staying with this spot?
They're launching two 2-litre 4-cylinder motors to begin with. A diesel and a petrol, and then the 335 is a petrol, and the 340 is the 335D is a diesel, and the 340 is a petrol.
See, I thought they were going to
just add.
I think that's a 5 Series I'm thinking of. They're not doing a 335D, they're just jumping to a 340D, I believe. kind
What was
of
the free-
skipping the.
Isn't it the 340i they're skipping to?
Yeah,
Because
the
the free
335i.
the 330i is a 4-cylinder, which is a little bit confusing.
Yeah, that is confusing. That scared me
Yeah.
to begin with, and then the video carried on for another 10 seconds, and then they were like, well,
Yeah.
a big diesel and a big petrol 6-cylinder will be on the way, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think now the 30s in BMW's range will now be 4 pots.
Yeah.
I think is how they're doing
Yeah.
it.
Is there anything below a 320 anymore?
Yes, there's
Yeah,
a
there's a-
1.8 and a 316, is there?
The current
That's
outgoing 3
318.
series, there's a 318, which is obviously a 4-cylinder. There's a 316, which is the 1.5 3-cylinder.
Is that the mini engine? Oh, sweet
Yes.
mother of God.
I know, I didn't know about this, and I read up about it, and it's just hilariously bad.
It really is, isn't it?
Like, it's just so bad on fuel because you have to rev it. But I'm very happy it exists because
Right.
that just pleases me.
My only
I
reference
just like
point.
knowing that's out there.
My only reference point for these sorts of things is when I drove the XF, and it was the 4-cylinder Ingenium thing, and it just felt really quite strangled. Even the supercharged V6 felt, like you really had to rev the balls off it to go anywhere. The only one that felt like I would want it was the 3-litre diesel because it had torque. So I suspect it'll be the same in the 3 Series.
Yeah, so I'm guessing there will still be a 3-cylinder 3 Series for mostly the Germans, and
Yeah.
it will probably be white with tiny wheels. Although you can get it here.
Yeah.
If anyone bought one, I don't know. I imagine there's some very annoyed marketing man because he actually went for the lowest 3 Series rather than the nicest Insignia.
Yeah.
But there we go.
116 M Sport. Because if you add all the M badges up on the car and set them on fire, that will produce more power than the 3-cylinder on it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's it'll be good, won't it? The cabin's nice. The cabin's very nice.
Oh yeah, I like the cabin.
And this
I
will
think
be
with some nice cream or white leather, and that will look very nice.
the DigiDash is optional, I think.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of the stuff they've sort of revealed on that car is actually going to be optional. Like the sat nav that reads the road and then talks to the gearbox like it does in Rolls Royces. I imagine that's actually an extra, and only in the higher end ones.
Yeah.
But there we go. Because
The,
I think it starts from 33, and I don't know enough about middle marketing cars to know if that's good value. I assume it's okay.
I think the A4 starts at about 28.
But there will be smaller engines because they just is it the 20D and the 30i they're starting with?
I think it's 20D and I.
Yeah.
Or have they started with?
No, it's,
the
it's
30i?
definitely the
30D and
30.
20D.
It's definitely
30i,
30i.
20D.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they're kind of middling-ish.
Yeah, they're probably the big sellers.
Yeah.
Well, the mid-range petrol and the mid-range diesel, really.
Yeah, they'll be the volume cars.
And then there'll be Tourings, and then there'll be the 4 Series, and then the M3 and the 4, and then
$4 grand.
yeah, and then
Grand Coupe.
the M3 competition special paint matte edition that will cost $5,000 for no real reason.
The M3 is probably getting the same engine as well, just like the M5 got a version of the old turbo V8.
Yeah, although it might be executed a bit better in this one. So
Well, the new M5 is a better execution than the old one, so you would hope anyway. But yeah, it'll be good. I like the iDrive's dead, isn't it?
is it?
Yeah, it's now called BMW
Something new.
Cockpit.
Oh, has it got the? Oh wow! I wonder why they got that idea.
And
Audi.
you can voice command it by going, "Hi BMW." And,
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
it just interrupts your conversations if you talk about cars.
I think if I drive that car and it tries to talk to me, I might just headbutt the steering wheel until it stops talking.
Yeah, but then the car will go. You've headbutted the steering wheel. Be careful. I'm
Yeah.
going
Why
to
have you done
lower
that?
the temperature so you
Fuck
don't
off,
pass
Skynet.
out.
Yeah.
So you haven't called your kids in a week. Maybe you should get on that. I'm going to dial them for you now. You're going to talk. If you don't, I will lock doors.
Please stop masturbating behind the wheel. No. I'm
No,
stuck on the
BMW.
M25 for 3 hours. What else am I supposed to do? Yeah, Joe, you're the BMW person. What's your overall take on the 3 Series?
Well, I don't have a feeling. I mean, it's again
modern,
they're
therefore
very
bad.
safe, and it doesn't massively change things. You know,
Yeah,
it's not a game-changing car. It's just another 3 Series from BMW that's, you know, slightly newer, got a few more toys, and
It's fairly paint by
got the
numbers.
latest
isn't it?
engines.
It's just the
Yeah,
next car.
it's
I
just the
don't-
next one in the series. They're not. It's not as if they've went from one era to the next era. They are just kind of, just is the same story, just scribbled in different ways, and
The graphics are slightly
churned
better.
out.
There are a few more tires.
yeah, just a nice update. You know, it could be called a facelift, but I think again that's what we're going to see from a lot of manufacturers is playing it safe. I mean, it's something that the VAG group have been doing for a long time now. Is just
Incremental
playing it.
updates.
Yeah, just
Yeah. I don't see it as a bad thing,
as
to be honest.
opposed to a bigger.
Underneath it, I think it is quite a lot more different. Like it's I think it's something like 20% stiffer
Yeah.
chassis, even though it's, you know, so and so, however much lighter as well. So there's stuff there. I think it will certainly feel more different than it looks.
Yeah.
I
I don't think it's a
if it
bad
was-
thing because the 3 Series, obviously, as a concept, works. The buyers know that, BMW knows that, so there's not really too much you can do to it,
No.
which I think is fine.
If it
it will
looked-
do its job. It will still sell massively.
If
It will
looked
still be
lovely-
good.
If it looked
Yeah.
lovely, I think we'd care more. But as it stands, it's just the new 3 Series.
Yeah.
Not the new 3 Series, wow. Like, yeah. It's
Yeah. But then again, does the outgoing 3 Series, does it really need massive change? Probably not.
Well,
No.
no, but now it kind of has been, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
I personally don't like the look of this one as much as I do the previous one.
Until you get a car, well, say the 3 Series for example, as we're talking about it, but until you get to that point where you look at it and think, right, this is a bit outdated, we need a new car, come on BMW, create something, they haven't necessarily, we're not bored with the old one yet. You know, they could have let that one last for a little bit, a few more years, and came out with a new model rather than playing it safe and playing it just as the same old car, just with a different frock.
I think the cabin in the old one was getting towards needing a serious.
Yeah, they couldn't leave that too long.
That's the problem
I
with
don't
a lot
think.
of new cars, is that the cabins age a lot quicker than they used to, because screen technology and user interfaces and things like that. You know, that stuff comes along so quickly. You have to keep up to date. So yeah, the old 3 Series was getting old on the inside. It looked great on the outside still, but it was, you know, it was getting a bit buttony and a bit pixelated and a bit, you know, all of that jazz on the inside. And the new car, the best part about the new car is the inside.
Yeah, I mean,
Big
if
difference.
you look at the old 3 Series from, say, the E30 onwards, you know, from the E30 to the E36 there's a noticeable difference. From the E36 to the E46 there's a noticeable difference. You know, even the E46 to the E90 there is a noticeable difference.
Oh,
Then
massive, yeah.
you get, following the trend on, the E90 to the F, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's a noticeable difference, but it's starting to have less changes. You know,
Yeah.
mechanically there was nothing wrong with the E90. It's still a very good performing car, and it's
Apart from
always
my
going to be
yeah,
well.
I think it's more of a shift from sort of changing stuff mechanically to changing stuff electronically and interior wise,
Yeah,
and probably engines as well. It's easier just to sort of, you know, release a car with new engines rather than trying to sort of shoehorn a new one in, even though the engines aren't that different.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, the engine that they will still be using, if they're going to bring out a 6-cylinder diesel, that's, you know, it's going
Oh yeah,
to
it'll be more or less the same.
be 25 years old now. Or, you know, by the time that model finishes, it'll be a very, very old engine.
The block, I mean, the layout, it depends what about the engine you're calling old, because
In terms of the raw principle, it's a 6-cylinder diesel that has got roots back to, you know, 95 when it first came out.
Yeah, but
Well, probably older than that when it came out in the old E30 4.
well,
Yeah, but you
Five-
could extend that to any car,
I was gonna
really.
say, if you're going to say that bloody six cylinders have been around for ages, you could go back and say, oh well, the V8 should really be killed off because it could trace its roots back to a 1932 Cadillac or something.
But in terms of trying to change, in terms of we look at companies, I suppose it can be looked in two ways. All the smaller engines are changing all the time. I mean, as you've just mentioned, there was a 3-cylinder turbo in the previous generation. That is a brand new engine. Back when it was 4-pot non-turbo 2 liters, that was the lowest engine you could get. And
you say it's brand new, but a lot of these things are very modular, like it is.
Yeah. But as in, there was at least a change around. I mean, we've seen the transition from a V8, from a straight 6 to a V8 back to a straight 6, but now it's turboed. And that's what I think I'm more kind of getting at, is the fact that there's nothing, not risk-taking as such, but they haven't kind of stuck out and says, right, we're only doing 4 cylinders now, or we're going to go to a V6.
Well, that's what Volvo did. But the thing is, a lot of BMW's DNA is in 6-cylinder engines, isn't it? So.
Oh, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with keeping that engine, but it's not. You can't turn it into something it's not over a few generations. I mean, that's always going to be a 40 to 50 miles per gallon engine that's producing X amount of emissions and chugs along at whatever brake horsepower they feel like turning the boost up to.
Yeah.
That is just it. That is that engine. It can't do anything other than what it's already doing.
Yeah.
Where they could produce a 4-cylinder diesel that is much more capable, which is what some companies are kind of coming out with now, with
the
200 horsepower diesels.
What you're saying is actually happening at BMW, in the sense that the 330D is now a 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful 4-cylinder, and the only 6-pot diesels you're going to get are in the really big stuff, the 335D and all that sort of thing. So the 4-cylinders are,
they are phasing out the 6-cylinders, which, it's a stage, but it's when they make the jump, if they want to make that jump.
I don't think they ever will, because you can't get away from a 6-cylinder. Like, a 6-cylinder will always feel more exotic than a 4-cylinder. And if you go and replace every 6-cylinder with a 4, it's going to annoy some people.
The flagship will always be a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
Even if there's only one engine left that's a 6-cylinder, and they call it the 350i or something like that, it's going to be a 6-cylinder, even if all the rest of them are 4-pots.
Yeah.
It will soldier on, even if it gets hybridized, even if they, they'll keep it. And if they don't,
yeah, they won't make.
God help their bloody complaints line.
Yeah,
they won't make every single engine like the same, but with different amounts of power.
Yeah,
because that just makes every car in a way feel the same. It's kind of Volvo. Well,
yeah.
And BMW, that's what they've done with a few others. Their old 3 Series there was several different variants of the 6-cylinder.
Yeah, I mean Nissan and Toyota. With
everyone's done it.
It's just sensible, really. That's just good practice.
Do we need as many engine options as what we have got?
No, not really. Anyway, I think we can sum up that the new 3 Series is a new 3 Series. It's not.
Yeah,
really, it's kind of unremarkable. It's important.
It's fine.
It's unremarkable. It'll do its thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll do it.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. Don't worry.